Hello again. I just wanted to say a few words about the recent French election. So Marine Le Pen, Nationalist Party, looking strong. And when it looked like the nationalists were going to take control, almost all of the parties in France ran a ring, circled the wagons, right, around Macron. So they made up a big majority, okay, in this election. The nationalists are kept at bay one more time, okay? But France is an interesting case because it's, however many number of years you'd like to see it as being ahead of us in terms of what's going on, it's certainly ahead of us to whatever degree, for its own particular reasons and its own individual history as a country, right? But it's interesting to watch because if you haven't caught up already, what's going on in Ireland is going on in England, has been going on in France, is going on in Germany, is going on in, pick a Western country, same problems. America's the same issues. Canada, same. Australia, the same. All these places, the same. South Africa, all these places. Wherever there's a Western man's foot on the soil, you're seeing the same issues, okay? So, what can we take from that? If you look at what's going on in Ireland at the moment politically, you see a rise in nationalist sentiment, which is manifested in certain candidates being elected, great, and running, great. A number that can only grow, by the way. But you also have a good handful of political parties who are different in name only. Do you know, in America they have the idea of the Rhino, R-I-N-O, which is Republican in name only. So they're like staunch Americanas in image only, but they're really socialists, essentially, right? So they've got nothing to do with the name over the name on the banner that they stand beneath. It's the same in Ireland with conservatives like Fine Gael, you know, or Fianna Fáil, like the soldiers of destiny, or the stories of the Gael, okay? Do you really believe that these people embody any of the energy of the names on the political banner they stand for? They don't, okay? So they're all going to coalesce around and circle the wagons again in Ireland, possibly for the general election, or maybe another following election after that, okay? And maybe that's what people need to see. Because if you don't feel like you're attacked at the moment, and you're a little bit sympathetic towards a nationalist perspective of things, okay, then you certainly may feel attacked when all the political parties that are relatively popularly known, okay, when they all decide to bandy together. So all of a sudden in the Dáil you have just this monolith. All of these parties that said that they're for different things, and they've spent years shouting at each other on television, and they've spent years cutting each other down and smearing each other's names, now all of a sudden they're all in the same group. Then you might feel threatened enough to look up and take out that list of priorities that you're after shoving under the bed for the last few years and begin to reevaluate them, okay? Because there is no point in going to work, getting paid, busting your back and other body parts to consistently and persistently get up and do the same thing over and over again, where the enjoyment of your life is being wrung out. You're paying for things by your taxes and that you've no interest. They serve you no purpose, okay? The opposite is the truth. The things that you're being forced to finance under the threat of going to jail or paying massive fines or whatever the case is funding the destruction of your own way of living. The thing that you got into work to be able to afford to sustain, and the thing you probably wish to retire into, which is the life you had when you were growing up, nice and more peaceful than it is now. Gone now. Gone. So your life is being, your life, your time, your energy, your attention, your intention is being drained out of you. Siphoned out of you and funneled into someone else's battery pack. The Matrix thing, your soul is being literally sucked out of you in front of you through your time, energy, and your productivity, your creativity, your imagination, your will, your desire, your time. Everything has been poured into something to allow you to continue living a way that is totally oppressive to you in a legitimate sense. A legitimate sense. It does things to you that you hate and you allow it. That's a sadness. So maybe it will take the whole governmental structure coming out and explicitly stating to you, we don't care about you. You're literally only here to line our pockets, to fund our lifestyle, and ultimately to get out of our way. Okay? So look at France. Recognize how much time we have in comparison to what the French people have. Because that country is fit to be ripped asunder in the next few years. And we're heading the same way, by the way. We're a fraction of what the French are in terms of population. We are an easy target. And there's been bullseyes being buried in our back for years. So wake up to the fact and get used to the fact that destruction lies in the horizon. Almost regardless of what happens in terms of political manoeuvring. Okay? I think all that might do is aid in cushioning some of the blows that are going to come your way. They're going to come your way. There's just story after story and instance after instance of terrible things happening in this country to people that never asked for it or done anything to deserve such treatment. Okay? So this is what we're looking at. Look right in front of your eyes now, and there's the two barrels. That's what we're looking down. Because as of yet, there hasn't been anything that is making people's instinct to survive switch on. And I think, bar total ethnic conflict in this country, or bar a massive call and a push to get European people to fight some enemy, namely Russia, okay, when we've war on our own shores already. Anything barring that, people are sleepwalking into total debt. And not only that, some of them will applaud the bullet that shot at them, okay? So that's where we're going. That's the trajectory we're on. Do I believe we have it in us to overcome, to regroup, to give birth to ourselves after this disaster of a century? Yeah, I do. Ultimately, wholeheartedly. Because otherwise there wouldn't be such an effort to put on to destroy us. Okay? So the fact that the whole world has to be brought to our shores in order to finally ruin us and destroy us and erase us shows how powerful people really are. The Western people really are. The white race really is. Okay? Because that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in me, my family, my extended people, and Irish people generally. I have a soft spot for them, right? Call it what you want. And then that extends out. It's limited in its extension in terms of how you feel and how much emotion you attach to them things. But of course you have a soft spot for European people. Why wouldn't you? Maybe because you're not European, but you get my point. You'd have a soft spot for your own people. And so it should be. You know? We're all distinct peoples and all distinct races, and we all have great things to offer. But not all of us, right? Not all of us. And we're seeing the consequences of that, of tagging everybody as being all the same and just willy-nilly leaving anyone and everything into the country, okay? So France, scary times in France. Scary times in all European countries, but France looks, and to be honest as well, as scary as the times look like they're going to become for France, or are for France right now, the closer they are to chaos, the closer they are to a resolution of this, okay? Because I think once people switch on and begin to act in accordance with their survival instinct, or their love of themselves, or their want to just live, okay? As soon as people switch on to that in this country, this nonsense ends pretty quickly. And the people in power know this, so they are turning that voice. They are closing that voice on us. But as soon as we decide that enough is enough, this thing ends in a matter of weeks. Believe that, because that's the truth. Look at your history books.